evening, gang. It's Friday night, Friday the 23rd of April 2021. A very good evening to you, and welcome to tonight's little chat show, United Kingdom Talk, coming to you from the Chapel Hill Marina here in Lincolnshire. I've caught the sun a little bit. You might notice my nose is not burnt, but it is a little bit red. Can you see that? I got a red... I am Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer. Rudolph the Red-Nosed Reindeer had a very shiny nose. Not as shiny as this. Look how big that is, darling. Concorde was designed on my nose years ago. Yeah, because it has been a really, really nice day up in Lincolnshire. What it's been like where you are? Do you have a nice day? Do you have nice weather wherever you were? It just goes on and on, to be honest. We had a little bit of cloud one morning in the last 7 or 8 days. No rain at all. I'm constantly going out and watering my pots, trying to bring them on because there's growth growing out of those. But I've had a lovely bike ride today. I was out for about an hour and a half. I went up to, what's the name of the place? Is it Lang something Bridge? Langtree Bridge? I can't remember what it's called now. I think Langton Bridge. It's like a single lane bridge. I've got a couple of pictures to show you. They were on my Facebook, but if you didn't see them on there, I'll show them to you on here as well in a moment or two. It's like a single lane bridge, and there's like 3 roads, 2 on one side and 1 on the other, and it's like a 3-way traffic lights, you know, so only one lot of cars, it's single lane, you see, it's single lane bridge, so only one lot of cars can come over at any one time. But I've got some lovely pictures to show you of where I was earlier. If you're new to the show, welcome along. If you're in the chat box and you're trying to talk to me, I'm afraid I'm not in the chat box at all. To contact me, just send me an email if you want to, chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk, or you can text in. Our texting number, just a normal text, not premium rate or anything, is 07451 287 337. All right, 07451 287 337 is the text number. You'll also be able to call in a little bit later on once we open our little phone line. All right, so see how that goes. Let me show you the pictures first then, gang. And here we are. These are my pictures of my little day out. I think my nose don't seem so bad there, does it? There we are. And that's looking sort of one way from the bridge there. It's so beautiful round here, it really is. That's the single lane bridge, as you can see. Where that car's coming from, that's like one road, and on my side where I'm standing there, taking a photo from, that's where the 2 roads are from. River's very clear, actually, teeming with fish at the moment. Okay. Fairly self-explanatory. Some boats down there, right-hand corner. One of those lovely narrow boats. People live on those, don't they? I knew a drag queen who lived on one of those. She loved it. That's my old £30 bike. 30 quid I paid for that bike. And it needs a new back tyre at the moment because there's a little bulge in there. The tyres are actually 26 quid, which is about the same price, or just under the same price as I paid for the bike itself. My nephew got it. Just some more views there of the bridge and where I was standing. All right. So you can see what a absolutely lovely day it's been. And I was out about an hour and a half, like I say. Hour and a half. I discovered a new way of picking litter. Bike litter picking. So I did, yeah, I took a bag with me. Took a bag with me, knowing that for the first part of the journey, I'd already cleared that. And actually, all the way to the bridge and back, which is about 45 minutes each way, 45 minutes each way. Not even half a bag of rubbish, so I was quite pleased about that. It's a shame I don't drink, really, because I found an entire can of, not Carlsberg, white Stella, white can, red writing, Stella, which was literally in a field. I come off my bike, walked into the field and picked it up. It hadn't even been opened. Why would you chuck that away? People have got more money. All these people that say they've got no money, yes, they have. Blimey, they're chucking the blooming drink away. So that was my day. Came back here, had a bit of lunch and just watched some telly. And I did my plants outside. It's very, very busy. Last night, you may have noticed, the hair's been cut. Hair's been cut. I went over to my sister's last night for a chinwag. And while we were sitting there, my nephew's wife rang up. she'd run out of greaseproof paper, and my sister said she had some, so she'd take it over there. So we all decided to go, me, my sister and brother-in-law, jumped in my car, went over to my nephew's house. She opened the box of greaseproof paper, and it was a bit like this in it. It was like, she hadn't checked it before she got, so she didn't get the greaseproof paper. But while we were up there, my brother-in-law decided he wanted his hair cut, so we all had our hairs cut. Well, my sister did it. Oh, it's so much easier when someone else does it. It really is. I've been cutting my own hair now. That's the first time someone's cut my hair now in over a year. I've been doing it all myself, you know, up the back. And that's the difficult bit up there. It's not so bad here. And my sister was really good, actually. She was very gentle with it. Some of these blokes who cut hair, that thing, they really dig it into your head, and it's painful. But my sister was really good at it. Not once did I experience pain, which she probably tried to do but didn't achieve it. Not it's a bit like sticking a fork in an arm, isn't it? Not once did she hurt my head. It reminded me of the lady who cuts my hair. She's from Nepal. I haven't seen her for, oh my God, about a year and a half or so, down in Wokingham, where the house is, in Berkshire. And she's very good as well, you know, doing all this. I get a massage with her. My sister didn't give me a massage, a little bit disappointed, really. But I think she's done very well with that, don't you? So the hair's been cut, but we didn't get any grease-proof paper. Sadly, while I was at my nephew's house, I spotted caterpillar cake. So I had to have a slice or two of that. It was only a small slice. It's only a small slice. My sister says, oh, look at the size. I mean, it was about that big. Of course it was bigger than a Starbucks slice. You don't want to go to Starbucks and order a slice of cake. Comes in a little plastic foil, a plastic, plastic wrapper. And it's about like, I don't know, half a cent. It's like a sliver of cheese. That's how small the cakes are in Starbucks. Thanks very much. £2.50, please. Don't think so, darling. Lovely bit of cake I had there. And then my nephew came in, Gary, with his son, and they bought Kentucky Fried Chicken for themselves, and chips and beans and things like that. And I was sitting there, but there was all this food left over. And you know me, dear, I don't like to see wasted food. And Evie, she's my great niece, was about to chuck the chips away. I said, where are you going with those? I don't want any more. Well, give them here then. Uncle Chris happily sat there and had the chips. And then I noticed great nephew Harry wasn't eating his barbecue beans. So I had those as well. Lovely. Had a free meal there and everything. But then my nephew left a few chips, and he said, but he left a piece of chicken as well. What a terrible waste. Man, you know I'm vegetarian, but honestly, for an animal to be brought up and suffer and die, and then not even been eaten, shocking waste, dear. But I couldn't eat the chicken. I'm sorry. I could not bring myself to put a piece of dead animal in my mouth. Although I'm sure I have done in chariots before. So that was my day. Lovely night last night. The only thing is, there was a bit of an accident. Oh, don't even go there. Nerf gun. Anyone seen a Nerf? Do you know, I've got something itching me here. This is doing my nut in. Hang on, let me see if I can adjust it. It feels like there's something up there itching me. I don't know what that is. Let's see if we can put up with that. Evie had the Nurf. She decides to bring down Nerf guns. 2 of them. One of them, it's got like little round, like a round thing, and you fill it with these bullets, which she'd already done by the time she got down to the living room. And she had this other one, which was massive, like that, and it was more like one of those rocket launcher things. You know, like they use over in Syria or somewhere like that. And she loads this foam thing on. Just one goes in there. Big thing is like a rocket launcher. Anyway, so she starts with the little gun, doesn't she? Look what I've got, Uncle Chris, and starts firing at me. And she's quite close. And those blooming Nerf gun bullets are really painful when they hit you. It's like a toy gun, and these bullets are made out of like soft plasticky stuff. I often find them when I'm litter picking, to be honest. But the end of it is like a hard piece of plastic. And if you're quite close to someone, they can be painful, right? So she's firing away, and I'm telling her to stop. Oh no, she's carrying on doing it. Well, I managed to get hold of the gun, didn't I? I managed to get hold of the gun, right? And my aim is not good. My aim is not good. Anyway, so she's now standing on the other side of the room, quite far away, and I aimed, bang. Oh, I'm here. And I just missed her eye. And I'm like, oh, why did I do that? I didn't think, perhaps I just didn't aim it properly. I don't know. And I just missed her eye. Oh, God. I felt so bad. But actually, Cheryl, who was there, she's my... she looks after Olivia like a carer. She's actually Stacey's sister. She said, well, that's your own fault. That's your, she said to Evie, that's your own fault for firing it and bringing it down in the first place. Oh, you feel so bad when you hurt a child accidentally, don't you? You do. You do. So that was my evening. Be very, very careful of Nurf guns. I think they're great, actually, Nurf guns. But I do think you could... Could you take an eye out with one of those? I think you probably could. I think you probably could take an eye out with one of those. Maybe someone have a little look at that. Anyway, if you're going to contact me, as I say, once again, if you're in a chat box trying to send me messages, I don't see those. You've either got to send an email or a text there, 07451 287 337, or email chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. Let's go to the texts early tonight. I think we're going to text early tonight. Hello to Lily. Hello, Lily. Nice to see young Lily into. She's 8 years old, I think, Lily, and she caught the old Kung Flu months ago now, the coronavirus, and recovered, fortunately. I'm pleased to say. So, hi, Chris, it's Lily. Just wanted to text you. Thank you for doing a chat show tonight. That's all right, Lily. This is the last chat show until Monday week. So the next chat show after this one will be on Monday, the 3rd of May. That's the next one, okay? Monday the 3rd of May is the next one after tonight, because I've got a little holiday up in Mablethorpe starting on Monday, all right, darling? So just let you know that. Hello to James. Hello, James. Now, I don't know which James you are, because I know a few Jameses, okay? Or over the years I've known a few Jameses. So if you could tell me what your other name is, and I'll know who you are. I've got a feeling you might be the James who's in sort of Lewisham Catford way. I've got a feeling. So if you could text us back on your number there, and let us know which James you are. But James writes, hi, Chris, just thought I would drop you a little line. This is James, who used to email the regular show many years ago when you did the show. I do still try and watch the show as much as possible now. Glad to see you're still getting on with the show. We're not doing bingo anymore. That finished a couple of weeks ago, James, all right? The bingo's finished now. Do you still do the show live on a regular basis? Yes, Monday, Wednesday and Friday, 8 p.m. Monday, Wednesday, Friday, 8 p.m, all right? Do any of the old regulars used to still... you see, I don't know which of the old regulars do you mean? Because the sort of audience changes over a period of time, so I don't really know who you mean there. Do you still hear any of the other... And do you still hear from any of the other presenters? Presenters of what, darling? I don't know, presenters of what? Of what? It's good to have you. Nice, good to catch up with you again. We'll try and tune in as regular as possible. So thanks very much, James. I'm not quite sure which James we are there, though. Good evening to Diane Jebb. Good evening, Diane. Hello to Fran Green. Good evening, Fran. Hello to Jason Hughes. Ollie K's in the house. Good evening, Ollie. Oh, we sat down with pizza. Oh, you made me jealous now. Oh, I fancy a pizza now. I could order one. Shall I order one? We could all sit down here with pizza, couldn't we? I could ring up my sister. She'd do one in the oven, bring it over. Sis, could you go down to the co-op and get one of those £5.65 pizzas in there? Put that in the oven and fetch it over, my darling. Any chance of you doing that tonight? Thank you. I do fancy a pizza tonight now. It's only because you've mentioned it's your fault, Ollie K. Your fault. He's just sat down with a pizza, ready for great entertainment tonight. Thank you very much. Hello to Paul in Cornwall. It's warm as the sun is setting. Well, yes, I mean, it is in the caravan, but I went out just before the show to water the plant, and I was surprised how much the temperature drops in like a short space of time. It's been absolutely beautiful here today. It really has, Paul. Did you manage to get down on the beach again? He's down in Cornwall, aren't you there? Evening to Gary Ross, who's watching on his own tonight. Leslie has retired for the evening. She's feeling shattered after having her Kung Flu virus injection yesterday. Oh, she's got the tiredness, has she? Sorry about that, darling. Sorry you're tired this, my love. Never mind. You'll be all right tomorrow. Promise you. I'm sure you'll be all right tomorrow, Leslie. Evening to Maureen in London. Hello, Maureen. Lovely weather here in London too. Been sitting out in the garden. We'll miss you next week. Have a lovely holiday. Thank you, Maureen. Yeah, just a week off. I will be doing a radio show Monday morning, and then that's off as well for the rest of the week. Okay. Good evening to Shania, head of the Catholic Church on the Isle of Wight. Evening, Shania. Hello from the Steele household. That encompasses everyone. Callum, who's probably out partying somewhere as he does most nights, doesn't he? Eh? Simon will be sitting there. I did see a picture of the three of you when you attended, was it a wedding in Egham in Surrey? Was it the Runnymede Hotel? I can't remember where you actually went to. Was it the Runnymede Hotel? Is that the one you went to? You look very posh, dear. Very, very posh indeed, I must say. So good evening to you. Hello to Mike in Brighton. He's doing his new job. He's got a new job in a hotel and he's enjoying it. He says, good evening, Chris. I can feel the heat radiating from my TV. You're beaming hot tonight. My nose is a bit red, isn't it? I do go very brown very quickly. I only need a tiny little bit of sunshine. We don't need to be going laying on a beach, in Cyprus for weeks on end. We really don't. To go brown, literally 10 minutes of sun, bang, I'm brown. That's it. A bit too much on the nose at the moment, but it's not burnt. Look, if it was burnt, I wouldn't be able to do that. Talking to Cyprus, I gather they've gone into lockdown. I was talking to Auntie Brenda on the phone earlier, and she tells me Cyprus has gone into lockdown. Let me just look up that, because I think my sister's watching. Cyprus lockdown. Let's have a look. Yes, they've gone into lockdown. This is on the... cyprusmail.com. The government today imposed a fresh lockdown for 2 weeks, starting April the 26th and May the 9th, in a bid to stem the rapid spread of COVID infections on the island, which are threatening to overrun the island's health system. So they've got, they've got another lockdown in Cyprus. I didn't know how their first one, to be honest. They were pretty non-COVID, so to speak, over on Cyprus, but it looks like it's getting a little bit out of control there, really. Hello to George Bond. He's going to call... Actually, Jeff, it's really low at the moment. In fact, I mean, I was walking along the other day from, I got to the bridge and turned left. So that's just riverbank along there. And it looks so low you could actually walk across it. And it's really clear at the moment. Like sometimes it's a bit muddy and it's the flow is all... It's very slow flowing at the moment and very, very clear. And I don't know if you do fishing at all, Jeff, but there's a hell of a lot of fish in there at the moment in the river. It looks beautiful walking along there. And no rubbish. There's no rubbish. You know why there's no rubbish? No bleeding tourists here at the moment from the cities. That's the problem, I think. The main problem is people coming on holiday, dropping their crap everywhere. That's what it is. And he says, enjoy your upcoming little holiday. Yeah, I'm just away for like 4 days. So Shania was in the Great Foresters Hotel. Great Fosters or Foresters? I think you mean Foresters. I'm sure I've been in that hotel before. Is that the name of the hotel? Can't remember now. Ollie says, have you heard the news about the Marmite shortages? Who even likes it? So I don't think many people have missed it. No, I'm not a massive fan of Marmite. In Australia, Ollie, they have a very similar thing called Vegemite. And a lot of British people go over there and they want to try it, because it's like proper Australian stuff. And the English people hate it when they go over there. The reason being, I was told by the Australians, is that they put too much on. I don't know what you're like with toast and marmalade and stuff like that. I tend to put quite a lot of butter and marmalade on a piece of toast. Well, with marmalade, you're supposed to put Marmite. You're supposed to put a very thin layer on, apparently. If you put too much on, it's very salty, Marmite. It's not my cup of tea either, to be honest. Peanut butter. Oh, I can't bear that stuff. Can't bear peanut butter. Horrible stuff. Paul in Cornwall says the beach was packed and we have a sea pool, very, very cold. A sea pool. So is that like a swimming pool with seawater coming in it, I would imagine? Very cold. I've taken over 500 photos over the past 4 weeks. Have a good holiday in Mablethorpe. So thanks very much to Paul in Cornwall for that. Let me just clear those and then I'll know exactly where I am. That's better. We've got loads on the show today, gang. I've got a little video from George to show you. George, you put that blooming music at the end again, didn't you, mate? Oh, but it's so loud. It's so loud. I'll have to cut it before we get to that. It really will blow people's ears out if I play that. So what have we got on the show today? First of all, gang, do you want to live longer? I mean, I'm not sure that we should really. Aren't we supposed to go on for a short period of time and then get out of the way for everyone else, maybe? You know? I mean, it's a fair point, isn't it, really? Do we want to live longer, watching how the Earth's going on that? I don't know if we do. But if you do, you'd be surprised. There's an article in the Daily Mail which says a scientist has revealed his top tips for slowing down the ageing progress. Now, how many of you take vitamins? Do you pump yourself full of these blooming vitamins? You get them from Holland and Barrett and Boots the Chemist and online and all over the place, these vitamins. A lot of people take them. My mate takes loads of them. Loads of vitamins. Well, a scientist has revealed his top tips for slowing down the ageing process, saying people should take care of their teeth. Now, I've heard this before. A lot of illnesses can come from dirty teeth. Now, as you get older, not so much the younger people like yourself, Ollie, but as you get older, sometimes your gums get a little bit loose, right? And food gets stuck up there, and the food basically goes off. Little particles of food go, and they release poisons, which you're swallowing. Doesn't tend to happen to younger people, I don't think, because their gums and teeth are quite tight on each other. But certainly as you get older, I noticed this. I brush my teeth twice a day. Usually just before I go to bed in the afternoon, and then just before I go to bed at night. And certainly, if I've just had a meal and I start brushing them fairly gently, I try and be gentle, and then when you finish, you can actually feel bits of food in your mouth, which of course you spit out. But you see, had you not have brushed those teeth, those bits of food would be stuck up in those gums and in between your teeth going off, wouldn't they? It says people should take care of their teeth and avoid, you ready for this one, over-exercising. Am I over-exercising? I go out for 2 hours walk, sometimes 2 hours, 3 hours. Is that over-exercising? I mean, what do you call over-exercising? All right, someone who goes in the gym for 8 hours at a time, probably. I mean, who wants to be in the gym for 8 hours at a time? And not my not my idea of fun. Even when I used to go swimming, 45 minutes. Oh, I suppose we'll be able to swim next week at Mablethorpe, if that's open. I don't know if the swimming pool will be open or not. Can't get coronavirus from chlorinated water, can you? I wouldn't imagine. So that might be open. This bloke, who's a biologist and longevity expert, argues in his new book, Ageless, the new science of getting older without getting old, that people have more control over their aging process than they realise. I think most of us on here who are sort of older than 50, and there's a lot of us on here who are older than 50, I don't think it would bother us so much getting older in age if we didn't get older in, shall we say, appearance and physical ability. You know, usually after a bike ride, and it happened again today, I get a pain in my knee when I'm doing certain things. And my brother-in-law gets exactly the same thing. I'm pushing slightly now on the side of my knee, and I can feel exactly where the pain comes. It's like on the side of my knee, right? And if I go downstairs, it's a problem. I mean, today I popped up on a ladder just to check my gutters around the caravan. You know, coming down the ladder, you have to be very careful, one step at a time, carefully, in case I get that sharp pain in my knee, which really hurts. It often happens after a bike thing. It didn't happen 10 years ago, you know. Anyway, here's his suggestions. Stay active, but don't overdo it, says this bloke. How much exercise do you do? Do you do much, or are you a couch potato in an armchair, something like that? I always think that's really bad news to sort of retire into an armchair and do nothing. You got to do something. No one's asking you to sort of run around a blooming football pitch. I mean, who wants to do that anyway? It says stay active, but don't overdo it. The man warned against sedentary and advised people who are sitting all day to try and move for at least 5 minutes every hour or so. But this is interesting. If you literally don't do any exercise at all, going for a 10 minutes, a 10-minute walk every day is going to dramatically improve your health. I mean, are any of you like that? I mean, do you sit in your room or on your bed or on a chair all day, every day, just watching the telly or playing computer games? I don't know what you're doing. I bet you snack a lot as well. I think you tend to snack a lot when you're just sitting at home doing nothing, don't you? He reckons just 10 minutes walk every day. If you do nothing at all, 10 minutes every day walking will dramatically improve your health. Of course, if you've not done exercise for a long time, that 10 minutes just walk once a day will probably be great effort. My brother-in-law's brother, who was very close with David, he doesn't really do much exercise, and it takes him great effort to do anything, really. Go for a walk, even just moving around the house, and he's out of breath like that all the time. It's terrible to see someone go down like that. In his own life, this bloke runs and cycles for about 30 minutes a day, which is nowhere near what I do, really. He also has incorporated strength training into his fitness regime after researching how crucial it is to mitigate muscle loss, because as you get older, the muscles disappear. We get bingo. Who's got bingo? I think I've got bingo wings here. I think. No, I'm not taking my jacket off. He says, when it comes to lengthy sweat sessions, he said the benefits of working out seem to plateau beyond an average of 30 minutes a day. Now, working out, that's different to walking and cycling, isn't it? When you're going down that gymnasium and, that blooming rowing boat machine and all that, I don't do any of that. I hated the rowing boat machine. You know, rock the boat, don't rock the boat, baby. What's your favourite? Anyone go down the gym here? Do any of you do that? What is your most unfavourite and your favourite gym type machines? Have you got one? He goes on to say the evidence for incredible levels of exercise is actually quite weak. In fact, if anything, it might slightly reduce your lifespan. I've got to say, I'm really unkeen on great big bulging muscles. I think they just look blooming awful. You know, when you see someone and they've got that vein sticking out. Nah. He says get the right amount of sleep. Now, a lot of people say that, don't they? Sometimes it's difficult to sleep. Apart from one night here last week when, what was that for? Oh, that's when I'd been stupid with eating a load of food shortly before bedtime, wasn't it? And the cake. Apart from that one night, I've slept really well here. Really well. I waking up automatically before the alarm around about 5 to 7 in the morning. Moderation is also important when it comes to sleep. Staying in bed too long can actually be detrimental to your health. He said he tries to get 7 or 8 hours sleep a night, which is right on target. Doesn't really say anything about naps or anything like that. Because, of course, in Spain and places like that, they have a couple of hours sleep in the afternoon, exactly the same as I do, you know. At the moment, it tends to be about an hour and a half. Again, I'm waking up. I usually set the alarm for 2 hours later, but I'm waking up after an hour and a half off my own back, you know, so that's good, isn't it? I think you're probably better off waking up naturally without an alarm clock. You know, I remember having the alarm clock when I used to work for British Telecom 25 odd years ago now. This alarm used to go off at 6:30 in the morning. Oh dear. You know. Now I wake up naturally just half an hour later, around about 5 to 7, 25 minutes later. What about you? Say goodbye to supplements. Now, as I say, how many of you take vitamin tablets? My mate takes loads of them. Vitamin D, vitamin B, what's the orange tablets? Is that vitamin C, that one? It says the dietary supplement market is a multi-billion-dollar industry. But this bloke says they are actually unnecessary to take unless your doctor asks you to do so. You don't need to be taking them. The scientists explain that people will get all the vitamins they need by following a balanced diet and spending time in the sun. Well, as you can see, I think I've had my vitamin D intake over the last few days for the next 10 years, to be honest. I think we mentioned a couple of weeks ago that the time you need in the sun is actually very short to give you the amount of vitamin D that you need. It's minutes, literally minutes. Don't need to be long in the sun to give yourself that right amount of vitamin D. It says, the scientist explained, we get all vitamins by following a balanced diet. We've actually got huge amounts of trial evidence to suggest there's no point in taking supplements. Vitamin supplements either had no effect on lifespan or actually slightly shortened it. So chuck those tablets away. And it's not like they're cheap, is it? I mean, I did buy some vitamin D tablets, big box of them for 10 quid. That's a lot of money, isn't it? 10 quid on a box of blooming pills that you don't need. It says the only supplement still takes is vitamin D because some studies suggest it may prevent severe COVID-19 symptoms following infection. However, he admitted that he doesn't think it would do anything if he were to actually catch coronavirus. Let's read a couple of your texts coming in there. Good evening to Rachel Wheatland. Evening, Rachel. Hello to you. Ollie K says, if I look across the main road near my house, I could walk from one end to the other and see no litter. It's really good. Excellent, Ollie. Excellent. You obviously live in a nice neighbourhood. Hello to the... Look who it is. Mark Bowles is here. Oh, no. Is that a private message to me, Mark? Oh, I won't read it out, but good evening to you, Mark. Yes, please do, and I will be round there immediately. Do you want me? It's not very well. I might have to go round there in my nurse's outfit. The only thing is that little skirt I've got is very, very short, Mark. And I don't want to tempt you, not in front of your girlfriend, darling. The delightful Tina. And she can have a little night off. Let's let her go to her mum's. I can pop round in my little nurse's outfit if you want me to, Mark. He's not well, bless his heart. Jeff says, I've had my free score in 10 years, so I reckon I'm on borrowed time. Oh, come off it, Jeff. You're joking, aren't you? The way you run around that caravan doing maintenance. See, you'll go on for years because you're doing that stuff. Because you're doing something. It's the people that just sit into a chair. And, not everyone can run around. Perhaps there is a point in all our lives that literally we can only sit in a chair. It's all very well me saying, you should get up and try. And you should get up and try. But I think maybe there does actually come a point where you can't do these things. That being said, you see some people on the telly and that, they're in their 90s. They're doing a bleeding London Marathon. Sod that, mate. Don't think I'd be wanting to do that at all. Did we get disconnected at some point? I've got it says 0. There's a counter there which says 125. Oh, that's about right, isn't it? 125. Yeah, no, it's about right. Sorry, ignore me. Paul in Cornwall's not doing his radio from the 7th to the 13th. He's having a break for DIY and chill time with his wife. Mike in Brighton says, I wouldn't go to a gym even if I was paid to, as it's as boring as hell. Absolutely. I've done it. It's boring. The strange thing is, Mike, I'm quite happy to go up and down in the swimming pool for 45 minutes or an hour. I don't get bored doing that. Gym, boring as hell. Absolutely. Mike says swimming is an excellent form of exercise. You are using all your muscles and not excessively either. Yeah, that's right. And it takes away. If you ever get a bad back, here's a tip for you. You ever get a bad back, go swimming. right? If you are struggling, and I know some of you have had bad backs, and I believe me, I know what you've gone through because it's happened to me 5 times. I've had that twinge in my back, and then it's gone. Oh, the pain! It's in the soft bit, either side of the spine. That's where it goes. You get a twinge, and there's no warning. It just happens. 5 times that's happened in the last 3 or 4 years to me. It's awful. But you get in the swimming pool, right? When you're struggling along, like struggling, each movement is painful. You get in the pool, and all the weight is taken off, and it's like, oh, it's like going to heaven for an hour or so. And when you get out the pool, if you can force yourself to swim a bit, and the first few strokes are painful, and then something seems to happen, whether you stretch it out or not, I don't know, and then you can swim almost normally. And then you get out the pool, and for a while, your back's fine, and then it sort of goes back to the pain again, and days have to pass. Oh, it's just awful, a bad back, it really is. So if you ever have a bad back, take yourself down the swimming pool. You get in the swimming pool and it just disappears. Wonderful. He says, also the shower afterwards exercises those eyes too. Now you're just being pervy now in the showers. Ollie says there was a guy who was still doing a paper round at 82. Like, how is he still going? Because he does the paper round. That's why, Ollie. That's something I'd do. I'd do something like that. I'd do something like that. I would like perhaps a little job to do, something. I don't know what, really. You know, I mean, I've got the... we're hoping that the karaoke's coming back on the 21st of May at Central Station. We are hoping that's going to happen. The numbers are looking all right at the moment with the old COVID here in this country, aren't they? But we don't know about... don't know yet. We have to see. India. Oh, did you see India on the telly? I was watching the news. My friend, Guy, actually, he's manager at Central Station, he sent me a Sky News report. Sorry, I keep touching this microphone tonight. I don't know why. He sent me the Sky News. I've done it again. He sent me the Sky News report. And how many people got coronavirus in a day? 300,000. And this lady, Sky News lady, she's doing this piece to camera, you know, chatting away to the camera, and they're literally wheeling dead bodies past her, behind her. They can't even get into the hospital. Chock-a-block. And then a lot of the hospitals have run out of oxygen. I was watching it this morning as well on one of the news programmes. And there's like people are driving around. One person drove around for 5 hours looking for oxygen. They couldn't get any oxygen. And they said on this news that some of the hospitals are now having to use industrial oxygen. Now, I don't know what that is. I have no idea. Perhaps there is a type of oxygen that they use for medical conditions, and there's another type of oxygen that would use in industry, and maybe one is filtered and the other's not. I'm not quite sure what that means, but that some of the hospitals are now having to use industrial oxygen, and some of the hospitals have simply run out. And there are people on the floor, and they've been on the floor outside the hospitals for hours, hoping that they're going to be taken in. It's horrendous. And you wonder if we can do something, you know, like, why can't, is there a reason that we wouldn't be able to send them oxygen or something like that? You see, I don't know how it works. I'm not a medical person. I'm not a chemist. I don't know how that works. How easy would it be to send, I don't know, 1,000 bottles of oxygen to another country? Well, you've got the distance as well, haven't you? Don't suppose you could put 1,000 bottles of oxygen on a plane, or could you? Again, I don't know. I'm not an expert. But you would like to think that other countries could pull together here and send them some stuff, couldn't we? Because we, here in this country, we're quite attached, aren't we, to India and places like that? We are. And those poor, poor people. Awful, awful. And by the time they get to the hospital, they're so ill because they don't really want to go. You may remember this time last year, you know, when we were not in a good way with these numbers. And I was saying, you know, the last place you want to go at the moment is to a hospital, isn't it? I don't know how India's going to cope. I mean, I think once you get down to once you get up to the numbers that they are at now, how do you get that? How do you get out of that? Do you see what I mean? I think you've got to keep the numbers, or do your best to keep the numbers down right at the beginning. I think this is where Boris mucked up a bit. He didn't jump on it soon enough, really. I think that. I know. But once those numbers have got so high, how do you get them back down again without the people naturally dying? And then, of course, they'd come back down. I don't know how they're going to get out of that in India. It's not a very rich country anyway, you know. There's a lot of poor people there. It's not like here. Tiny little villages of a couple of dozen people, you know, live there, miles from anywhere. And then they carried on, and they had a religious festival. I mean, which thousands of people went to. Why would you allow that? I mean, we cancelled Christmas and Easter here, didn't we? Well, not so much Christmas. We cancelled Easter here, didn't we? It's just madness. I know it's a religious thing, and I know how important that is to people, but sometimes you just have to step in. But it's really awful. If you haven't seen the news, you know, it's just dreadful. Ollie's suggesting I could be a postman. Would I need a cat? I'd need a cat, Ollie. Postman Chris, Postman Chris, Postman Chris, and his brown and white cat. I had a brown and white cat. Her name was Katie, Ollie. She's before you. She died about 3 years ago. She was my mum's cat. She was lovely, Katie. Back to this story. If you want to live longer, it says, and a lot of people are saying this, eat more plants and less meat. You know, I'm a vegetarian, but, you know, it says when it comes to his diet, this bloke says he likes to focus on moderation and variety, but he also makes an effort to eat more plants and less meat, particularly red meat. A lot of people say that, don't they? Like stuff like beef and that sort of thing is not particularly good for you. That chicken, for some reason, is a white meat, so you're better off to eat chicken. Now, when I say chicken, I don't mean Kentucky fried chicken, fried and batter all over it and salt. No, plain white chicken. Roast it yourself in an oven or boil it, one of the two. Not created with all this batter around it, with the Colonel's secret ingredients. I like that. That's what I should have done that with Gary's chicken last night, actually, that piece of chicken he left. I didn't have to eat the chicken. I could have peeled off the batter stuff. It says vegetables, healthy plant-based diets emphasise higher intakes of vegetables than animal foods, are associated with a lower risk of cardiovascular morbidity and mortality, according to a study. Vegetables also tend to be lower in calories than other foods, which can help with weight management, among other things. No, it doesn't. I mean, if I was just eating vegetables, then probably yes. But you see, bread, crisps, chocolate, cakes. I haven't had any of those things today, actually, so I should be all right. Oh, yes, I have. I had 2 slices of bread today. One while the dinner was doing, and one to wipe around the baked beans afterwards. What did I have for dinner? Two veggie burgers, baked beans, and smashed potato. Oh, here, baked beans. My beans are well out of date. 2018, it says on the tin. But you open them, they're perfectly all right. You know, and that was like, what's that, 9 hours ago now? Something would have happened by now, wouldn't it? I buy out-of-date beans. They're so cheap, I can't tell you. So cheap. My nephew usually gets them from me up at the tin shop up the road, where they sell lots of about-to-go or out-of-date products. But, of course, I didn't just buy these recently. I bought these 2 years ago. So when I bought them, they were only slightly out of date. But, of course, we haven't been up at the caravan for a year, have we? Just for a few weeks. That was it last year. We haven't been. So now they're another whole year out of date. But they tasted all right. I got about 12 cans of those. I'll carry on eating them. If I suddenly don't appear for a show, you'll know what's happened. You can say, oh, what a terrible way to go. Death by baked beans. Don't worry, Mark. If I'm coming round here in my nurse's uniform, I won't be bringing any out-of-date beans. Only the best food for you, my darling. I'll be there cooking away, frying you a piece of dead animal, whatever you want, my love. It says generally eating more veggies also improves gut bacteria. I do eat a lot of vegetables. Do you? My plate, you know those litre... Well, let me get it. I'm going to go and get it for you. 1 minute. Do you see these? These are, what are these? Litre jugs? What's it say on there? Litre jugs. So if I showed you that, right, in a meal, I'll have vegetables up to there. I just put it in the microwave for about 12 minutes or something like that. I do. Oh, is it 12, 6 or 7 minutes? 6 minutes, 7 minutes. Then I stir it all in another 7 minutes and it's all boiling and lovely. My vegetables in there are up to there. I kid you not. Right up to there, right? Yeah, there. And I'll have that lot in a meal. I do have a lot of vegetables. Very good, very good. Keeps everything moving. Very important to get. You don't want constipation. It's not funny. Anyone who's had constipation, you know what I mean. It says that generally it looks though eating a plant-based diet is likely to be healthier, likely to make you live a bit longer. So that's something I've tried to do. I'm going to be here for years, aren't I? With the amount of with the amount of vegetables I eat, years I'm going to be here. What about you? Thank you, Jeff. Industrial oxygen is not filtered as much as medical oxygen. Yeah, so I guessed right there. Used for things like welding and burners for cutting steel. I mean, is it safe? I don't know. When I worked at British Steel on maintenance, if anyone had a hangover, we'd have a whiff of the welder's oxygen. Soon cleared the thick head. Is that right? Is that what you used to do? Fighter pilots in World War II used to have a whiff of their oxygen masks to clear hangovers. Well, I never knew that. Yeah, I guessed it was something like that. Not filters as much as medical oxygen. So presumably there's a little bit of a risk there, is there, in breathing in industrial oxygen? Maybe. Rachel says, death by baked beans. You'd be been and gone. Been and gone. Very good, Rachel. Mike in Brighton says, apparently celery is very good for you. Also, it helps your digestive system and improves your libido. Could you do a show in your nurse's outfit? I haven't got it here, to be honest. I'll have to go home. But if Mark needs me, then I will have to go home. I'll have to cancel my holiday. Do you want me to ring my nephew now, Mark? Do I need to cancel the holiday and come and look after you? Let me know. The children will understand. Talking to children, your boy, I was looking at your picture earlier, which I do quite often while I'm sitting here on my own. He's got your eyes. He doesn't half look like you. It must be lovely having a child who looks just like their dad. My great-nephew Harry looks exactly like my nephew Gary. Absolutely identical. Not just the look of his face, the expressions he now does. You know, when he goes, puts his eyes up to heaven or squints his eyes. It's just like a mini version of my nephew. That must be wonderful as a father. Isn't it, eh? Having a sort of mini you next to you. I know my younger nephew, Jimmy, and his girlfriend, they're very, he's so excited. So excited, looking forward to having, they're having a little boy. They had one of those internal photos taken, like a scan there. Talking of celery, actually, Mike in Brighton, that's one of the ingredients I use in my campfire stew, celery, chopped up celery. Carrots, onions, the lot. Oh, I might get one out of the freezer and have that tomorrow. I think I'll write that down, because I often forget campfire stew. Celery, there's just celery in that. All vegetables, beautiful. Beautiful. Ollie says, this story has taken about 30 minutes. That's a long time. We keep going off topic. Oh, we don't worry about that, Ollie. That's why there's no one watching. That's why there's no one watching. My lovely brother-in-law is always giving me suggestions of how to improve the show, this, that, and the other. But I kind of happy just sitting here doing my thing, you know. I don't know really. If I wanted to increase numbers, I'd have to change. I'd have to change it. It's as simple as that. Because we don't get the numbers for what I do. So the choice is, do you want to do sort of sit here kind of doing what you do, or try something else? Because we'll always be stuck like this. It's been going too long to you know this is it. This is it. You know, we're lucky to have like 30 people really watching. Very lucky. Very lucky. So that's just how it is. All right. It's Lily again. Sorry for calling the text phone. Did you try? Oh, I wouldn't know if you're calling the text phone, my darling. I wouldn't know. I don't get a message saying someone's trying to call. It just doesn't come up. All right, so don't worry about that. Thank you, Lily. How's school? Are you back at school, Lily? I hope you're doing all right there, darling. Fran says we will be here eternally then, because we steam 5 vegetables every time. We steam 5 vegetables every time we have them. I like vegetables, and especially, you know, there are certain types of different vegetables. Say, for example, carrots. Carrots. Now, you can get carrots, cheap, really cheap carrots, nothing wrong with them. But there's a particular type of carrot I like. I've only seen them in Waitrose, right? You get about 5 or 6 carrots in a long polystyrene or cardboard, I can't remember what it was, the little container thing with a bit of cellophane over the top. And I think they're from Scotland. I can't remember the brand of them. I think they're from Scotland. Scottish sweet carrots. They are absolute. The taste of them. They taste absolutely delicious. Well worth. I think that's £1 for just like 5 carrots. But let me tell you, they are delicious. Really. When you're putting them in like a campfire stew with lots of spices, a bit pointless really. I don't think you'd taste them. But I like carrots and peas. I never used to have much vegetables at all when I was a little boy. What about you, Ollie? Do you have much vegetables at all? 13 years old? See, at 13 years old, 13, well, from a baby to about, Christ, 27, 28, the only vegetables I really had were baked beans. I wouldn't eat anything else. And then, I don't know, over a period of time I started eating vegetables. I mainly have frozen vegetables, though. It's so easy. And they're dirt cheap. Frozen vegetables are dirt cheap. 87 pence or something like that gets you a great big bag of vegetables. And out of those, I'll get about 3 lots of vegetables. Someone like you probably get about 6 lots out of them. But because I eat a lot of vegetables, I'll get about 3 lots of vegetables out of those. Lovely. Either a bit of gravy or maybe a little bit of tomato sauce over the top there. Let's see, what else have we got here? It says monitor your blood pressure and resting heart rate at home. Now, that's not something I do, I must say. This bloke says he detailed how your blood pressure and resting heart rate reading can give you an insight into both your heart health and overall well-being. Now, I must admit, I've done my resting heart rate, and generally it's around about 52, which is quite low. I have had it done before, and often they say, well, that's really low, and then out comes a heart machine. They think you've got something wrong with you. And then you tell them that you're doing a lot of swimming at the time, and that's why it's so low. When the swimming stopped last year, I decided I had to do something else, so that's when I started doing the walking. I did have bad feet for a while because I wasn't used to it. Now it's just normal. You know, sometimes I might be walking a bit funny, but that's because my feet hurt because I've been for a long walk. This bloke says that he's a proponent of at-home blood pressure readings. I mean, would you get a machine for that or something? Do you have to buy a machine for that? At-home blood pressure readings because of white coat hypertension, which occurs when the readings at your doctor's office are higher than they are if they were at home. Funny, isn't it? I suppose you'd get a little bit worried, wouldn't you? Sitting at that doctor and you're looking at this machine. Oh, I hope that's all right. And then does that increase your pressure? I suppose it would do, wouldn't it? If you're sitting at home, it's like when I do my heart rate at home. Now, I bet you see, I'm not resting at the moment. So I wonder what my heart rate would be now. Let's just do that. I'm sitting here talking quite fast, and I feel quite hyper at the moment, right? So let's just see what my pulse would be now. I would imagine it would be in the 70s. Oh no, 65. There you go. You can. I'll take my finger off it, and then it'll disappear. Unfortunately, let's try it again for you. You can watch this, and this is an app, a free app called Heart Rate, which you can get if you want. Would you like to leave feedback? No. Let's try this again. I'll show it to you. I don't know if I can do it if I turn it round and perhaps do it like that, and you might be able to see it. Okay, so all I've got to do is put my finger on there. There we go. Okay. It's getting slower and slower. I'm going to peg out while the show's on. It's about 60, 62 beats a minute, which is quite low. Quite low. If you go for a run or something like that and do it afterwards, or even a bike ride, you know, it'd be a lot higher than that. But so that, I suppose, that's not quite resting though, is it? Because I'm sitting here talking to you. But blood pressure, I don't know. You must have to have a thing going around there. Oh, is it up there, isn't it? Blood pressure thing. I usually have it done when I go to the doctors. Only once ever he said your blood pressure's a bit for high. Only once in all that time I've been going. Here comes the teeth one. Take care of your teeth. Oral hygiene is more than just staving off cavities. The scientists explain in his book that brushing your teeth can help deter heart disease and even dementia. Very important to keep those teeth cleaned. I actually think that problem I've had with my throat is to do with something going on under my gums. I do think that, and I think although it's stopped since I've been up here, it's stopped completely, gone completely. I think there might have been something to do with my gums, and if I'd have been able to get a dentist appointment, then he would have found something. But it seems to have gone now. So fingers crossed. How long was that? February, March, April. Almost 3 months I had that throat problem. It says research says people who brush their teeth less than twice a day have a higher risk of heart disease. It's got to be something leaking into your mouth, isn't it? He says it's important to care for your teeth and gums because the link to Alzheimer's and heart disease may be chronic inflammation that starts with mouth and bacteria. So there we are. And the final thing is, it says don't stress about intermittent fasting or dietary restrictions. He explained there's not enough research to say that for certain that dietary restriction, that's reducing the amount of calories consumed, okay, or intermittent fasting, going specific times without eating, will extend the lifespan of humans like it does other organisms. While he dabbled with only eating during an 8-hour window while following the popular 16-8 intermittent fasting plan. What is that? I don't know what that is. Is that where you eat for 16 days and not for 8? Sod that, not having anything to eat for 8 days? Blimey. We're not exactly in a small village in Africa, are we? He was turned off. He was turned off it after a study showed that time-restricting eating doesn't work for weight loss. He noticed his findings are complicated. And anyway, that's it. So there's just a few suggestions if you want to live a little bit longer. There are probably people in your life who you don't want to live for longer, are there? Maybe there are, maybe they aren't. We'll open the phone line now, boys and girls. If you've got any comments about that, then feel free to ring in. There's my number if you want to call in tonight. 02081. Sorry, let's do it again. 020-8144 3477 if you want to call in, all right? The line's open now. 020-8144 3477. I am aware that a little bit of a interference on the picture there, isn't there? A little bit of freezing there. Don't worry about that. We're still connected. It's just how the internet works there, right? 020-8144 3477. George. Oh, George is calling in. Good evening. That's funny. I was just about to read one of your messages out there. Good evening, George.
Hello.
Hello? George?
Hi.
Oh, is that Lily?
No, it's Lily.
Oh, hello,
Yeah.
Lily. How are you?
Good.
Nice to hear your voice. Hello, darling.
There you go. Hello, Chris.
Hello, George. Hello, Lily. You all right, you two?
Yeah.
I see, George, you've just sent in a message. It says, I'm still at school. I'm actually currently playing... Oh, that's Lily, is it? Okay. I'm still at school. I'm actually currently playing a cornet as well. I'm learning to play it. Have you got it with you?
Yes, I have, actually.
Can you play us a tune?
I'm going to grab it.
Play us a tune.
She'll be back in a minute.
Okay. How are you, George? You've got a new
fine,
bed. I'll be
Chris.
showing people your new bed later on.
Yes.
I hope you're not spending too much time laying in it doing nothing.
No.
I'd be very disappointed if you did.
No, I'm not actually.
Good.
Today I went outside because it was sunny.
Right.
And if it's a rainy day, I will be on my bed.
Right.
But if it's a sunny day, I will be outside.
Do you have a garden?
Yes.
Oh, of course you do, because you do your archery and that, don't you? Has she got the coronet?
Yes.
All right, okay. What's she going to play?
I know three songs. I know a little bit of Happy Birthday. I know Mary Has a Little Lamb, and I know Hot Cross Buns.
Oh, can I request one? What's the third one?
Huh?
What was the third one?
Hot Cross Buns.
Okay, can we have, please, Mary Had a Little Lamb?
Okay.
Well done, Lily. Round of applause for Lily, everyone. Fantastic. I tell you what, let's go for a second one. Can we have Hot Cross Buns, please? We'll do that one as well.
Okay.
Well done, Lily. Fantastic. Do you, on the coronet, are there buttons or do you have to just change your lips?
There are 3 buttons.
Oh, you got 3 buttons on there, have you?
Yeah.
Well, well done, Lily. We're very impressed, my darling. When did you start learning that?
A couple of weeks, like about a month ago.
Okay. And is that something you do at school or do you see a special teacher?
I do it as like a separate thing.
Right, okay.
Can I sing you the Happy Birthday as well that I know so far?
Go on then, do happy birthday. That's all right, yeah.
Yeah, maybe I can just do it like for the birthdays or something. I don't know.
Go on, do that one.
Okay. That's the one I know so far.
Oh, yeah. Happy birthday, dear Lily. Happy birthday to you. I can finish it off for you.
I know that bit
But,
yet.
but,
That's all the bits I know.
Well done, Lily.
Yeah.
Well done, Lily. I think I can see you soon playing at last night at the proms at the Royal Albert Hall. Oh, how wonderful is that? I love it. I love it. Thanks for calling in, George and Lily.
okay.
Okay.
Cheerio to both of you. Bye now. Thank you.
Bye.
Fantastic. Absolutely fantastic. I love it. I love it. We could have our own little talent show here, couldn't we? Well done. Fantastic. Mike in Brighton says carrots are yummy, but never overcook them. The crisp is important. Don't agree with that. No, I don't like vegetables too crunchy, I'm afraid. Try cooling carrots in orange juice. Delicious. What, while they're cold? Cold carrots in orange juice? Is that what you mean? Cold carrots in orange juice? Rachel says my resting heart rate is 89. Is that a bit high? Is that a bit high? Anyone else going to do their resting heart rates? Download the app. It's free. Or is it heart? It's called Heart Rate. There it is. Instant heart rate. And a little light comes on, you see. And then you put your finger against it and it tells you what your resting heart rate is. and whether or not to take action, I suppose, or something like that. 0208 144 3477 if you want to call in tonight. Now, you need to watch out for flying turtles. There's a great story here, if I could just blooming well find it. Where's it gone now? Where's my flying turtles story? This is quite funny. I can find it. Oh, I've lost it. Where's that gone now? There it is. Flying Turtles Gang. This is in the Metro, which is kind of a London-based paper. 71-year-old lady. This was in Florida, in the USA, a place where I do like to go. Disney in Florida is fantastic. 71-year-old woman sitting in the passenger seat as her daughter drove on the highway in Port Orange in Florida when a turtle came flying through the windshield and clobbed her in the head. Or how awful. I mean, it's not exactly the same as when you're driving along in a bee. Have you ever had wasps or a bee hit your windscreen? I had a swarm of them once, and I must have flown through the swarm, and the whole screen, years ago, the whole screen was covered in, I think they were wasps. Horrible things, horrible things. And we've got a call coming in from Daniel. Good evening, Daniel.
Good evening, Chris.
Evening, sir. How are you tonight?
Yeah, I'm very good.
Have you done your resting heart rate?
No.
Oh.
I've just had enough trouble just getting here to Mum's tonight, let alone everything else.
Why are you having trouble getting to Mum's?
Well, what with all that, getting on a missing 1252, and then one turns up right behind, apparently going all the way, and then...
You missed the bus?
Yeah, it's a bus, yeah, and then all of a sudden it goes, the destination of this bus has changed, please with further announcements. We get to Romeo Corner, and then this bus terminates here. It's only absolute, it was like nothing. It was
halfway
why
through
bother having that journey?
Halfway through the journey, they decided to change where they were going.
Couldn't even go all the way to Elm Park Station and then go back to the depot.
That's a bit odd, isn't it?
Yeah.
Oh, well.
That's the trouble with the buses, no liaison. That's what it is.
No liaison. No one's talking to anyone. No one knows what the hell's going on. Bit like me doing this show, really. Perhaps I could go and drive a bus or something.
Yeah, but then... no, forget that. No, I've done some good today, I can tell you.
Right.
I've actually started making fruit syrups.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we've got to the lemon syrup so far.
And how do you make that then?
Well, I already did it half the amount. Normally it'd be 6 lemons. I just did it with 3.
Right.
3 lemons, a modicum of sugar.
What's a modicum?
Modicum, that as in small amounts.
Oh, right, okay. Yeah.
Or it means the same
as... A moderate amount, then? Moderate amount of sugar,
means the same as soupçon.
Let me just put my feet up while I'm listening to you and turn that date off there. 1 minute, get rid of that date there.
All right.
I like to be relaxed while I'm listening to you, dear.
Yeah.
Feet up on a computer, probably not.
So am I, actually.
Eh?
So am I. I'm on the couch.
Continue, child.
So I took 3 lemons, a modicum of sugar, a little water, and then boiled it all together, and then I slaked it with arrowroot. And then continued boiling until I thought it had thickened up enough. And then it was left to cool in the jug in the fridge for the rest of the day. I've got back to Mum's tonight. We've put it through the strainer, and then it tastes, mix it with spring water in a glass, and it tastes absolutely much better than shop lemonade.
Well, of course it does. You made it yourself. Yeah. No preservatives or anything in there, just a bit of sugar.
No, yeah, because I do wonder
sometimes. That
sounds
absolutely delicious.
Yeah, they're going about this sugar stuff, but what's worse, I wonder, is it sugar or is it these additives, preservatives, and E-numbers that are in the food?
Yeah, you don't know what that does to you either, do you? That oh no, what's it called? It's not saccharin. There's something else they use instead of sugar. I can't remember what it is now.
Yeah, it used to. No, Canderel, Mum, that is saccharin.
What'd you say? What is it?
Mum thought it was Canderel, but...
no, not Canderel. There's something else they use instead of sugar, and I can't remember what it is now. Anyway, carry on.
Yeah.
So, and you mix that with water. So basically you've got your own condensed. What do you call it? Your own.
Yeah, cordial.
Yeah, your own cordial. Yeah, you've made it yourself.
Yes.
That's fantastic. Perhaps you should try it with lime. I quite like lime as well. Do you like lime?
Oh yes.
Yeah, yeah.
Yes, a lime syrup and an orange syrup and maybe even a raspberry syrup.
Do you have that with alcohol? Do you? Do you have like a gin and something?
An alcohol. Ooh.
Yeah. Do
Now
you
you're
drink
talking.
anything like that? Do you drink beer or anything like that?
I'm
I mean, I
not
don't.
I'm not a strong alcoholic. I do
No.
have beers occasionally.
What about your
I'm
mum?
not-
Does she like a little bit of gin or something like that?
She likes She likes the vodka and the Baileys at Christmas.
Oh, yeah, I bet she's drunk as a skunk at the moment, isn't she?
Yeah.
Is she drunk now? She sounds like she's right out of it at the moment, isn't she? Is she actually making any sense when she's talking? I can
Yeah,
imagine her
she has
sitting
a-
there with a blooming glass of gin and this, that, and the other there. Eh?
Yeah. She gets sozzled at the weekend.
Does she really? Yeah.
Yeah.
Is that when she has extra, and then during the week it's just the one bottle a night? Is it? There's plenty of people out there. They have a whole bottle of wine every blooming night. I know my cousin in Australia and his wife do.
Oh, your cousin in Australia?
Yeah, they were. She likes a
Blimey.
bottle of wine. She only rings up when she's drunk out of her head.
Yeah. It probably doesn't
I
need much
bought
around.
I bought my nephew's wife a bottle of I think it was some sort of red wine or red something for Christmas, or a rosé. I can't remember what it was now. I don't know if she's had it yet. I don't know what it was like. I think it was a particular. I can't remember if it was a particular brand that she wanted. I think it was. I don't know if I got it from her or my sister told me what one to get. I can't remember now. Do you like wine at all? It's not for me.
Oh
really.
yeah, I have wine, but
Do
I
you?
can't. You know, I'm not. I'm no Julie Gordon. Remember her?
Who?
Food and Drink. Julie Gordon. There used to be a program called Food and Drink where Michael Barry would do the cooking,
Right.
and then they'd go this woman, Jill Gordon or Julie Gordon, and I was like, and she'd go. They'd have all these wines on this table, and then she'd pour a glass and you go, try it, and then you couldn't just like put it in the mouth. She had to actually like swirl the glass first.
Oh,
You got to swirl the glass first, nose in, and then you go. Yeah, I'm getting all aromas. I'm getting elderflower. I'm getting oranges. I'm getting high. And it was.
have you seen these dirty bastards? They swill it round their mouth and then you spit it out again. Dirty people, dear.
Yeah, well, I think she
What's all
used
that about?
to do that when she was driving.
What a waste of wine. Dreadful.
Yeah.
It's like me sitting here chewing my dinner and then spitting it out into a bucket. Mind you, a great way to lose weight. Isn't it? I suppose, yeah, I wonder if you could actually do that, really. You know, is it the swallowing that makes you feel full up, or is it just the chewing it in your mouth? So you could chew it for half an hour and then just spit it out. Does that work?
Right. Well, that's funny because I mean, I often find once I've had me breakfast in the morning, I go out of here and I find there's still like a mouthful of bacon that I'm still chewing in going down the streets. So I don't know if that exhausts me out or not.
Oh, how awful.
Mind you, you said earlier you had Smash, didn't you?
I've got packets of Smash at the moment. I got them from up
Yeah.
the tin shop, dirt cheap, 10p a
Yeah.
packet. Lovely.
Well, I had squashed potatoes the other day, but that wasn't food. That was just when I was strained my
Right.
knackers on something.
See that smashed potato, that is only potato. Of course, there's a little bit of salt, I think, and preservative in it, but it's just potato. A lot of the supermarket own brands do contain cream or milk in there as well. So, you know, if you are watching those calories, then you're not doing yourselves any favours. But the Smash, if you look at the ingredients, it is only smashed up potato. That's all it is. And a few other
Well, I
little bits and
wonder
pieces.
if that's, well, strictly speaking, dried potato, isn't it?
Yes.
So I wonder if that means that you could do something to make your own. You know, they're not crisp. But I'm talking about like what Smiths call square, or they use Smiths today, square crisps. Those snacks that are like reformed potato, and they're either square crisps or what's them up? They've done some other.
Pringles are those.
Yeah, all
Pringles.
them and all. Yes.
Oh yes, it's mashed up potato reformed and then fried, isn't it? That's what it is.
Yeah. So I wonder if it's possible. You could actually make your own of that as well, I suppose.
Yeah, I don't know which is better for you, the crisps
Yeah.
or the reformed crisps. I would imagine whole crisps are probably the lesser of the two evils, rather than the reformed ones. I'm just guessing though. I'm not sure about that.
Now, coming away from food meat, we're putting a quagmire, Chris.
Oh, what?
We're gonna lose you for a week.
I know. Yeah. I'm not here for a whole week.
So where exactly are you going then?
You know where I'm going? Mablethorpe, dear. Mablethorpe, Haven Holidays.
Oh, it seemed a bit strange that you had all that time in Bracknell, and all of a sudden you come up to the caravan for a week and a half, and then you go on holiday already.
Yes. Oh, my life is just one big holiday, dear. One big holiday.
Yeah.
Have you been to Mablethorpe?
No.
I think you'd fit in there. They have a lot of chavs around there.
Have a lot of
Tracksuit
chavs
types,
round there.
Eh?
Chavs round there. I better steer clear of that place.
Oh,
then.
Fran, that's the thing we're thinking about. Instead of sugar, aspartame. Is that how you say it? Aspartame? Aspartame. Aspartame, I think it is.
All right. I'll have to check the packet next time.
Yes.
If that's what it says on it.
I think that's what it is.
Aspar.
Oh, we got a message from George.
Oh.
Oh dear, he's in trouble. George is in trouble. His nan has just had a go at him and Lily for playing the cornet.
Well, I suppose
she's not a happy person, is she?
No.
I'd be proud of you playing the cornet. Go and play it again, Lily. Go on, just to upset her. Oh, I don't know. Do you play any musical instruments, Danny?
I wish I could.
What about the spoons? You could have have you got a couple of spoons? You could give us a little go now with a couple of spoons.
You really want me to get 2 spoons and try and...
Oh, yeah. I mean, do something with your life, for Christ's sake.
Oh, come on. All right then, Chris, hang on.
Can I ask you to do little likes for me tonight, please, my darlings? If you can hit the little thumbs up button underneath the video. That helps the YouTube algorithms. Thank you very much if you're enjoying it. Have I done everything I was going to do? No. So, oh, yes, sir. There you go. If you want to send us a tip, there's the PayPal there, okay? All right, that's the PayPal for tips. If you don't, that's fine as well. Okay.
I found something, Chris.
Oh, yeah, go on. Let's have a listen.
Got 2 dessert spoons. They're a bit uneven in size, but they should...
Right.
Now, what I was supposed to do, hold between the index finger.
Yes.
One thumb on top.
Oh, my nephew's watching today. Evening, Gary. He's already in Mablethorpe. They're already there. They went today. See, they can afford a whole week. I can only afford 4 days.
Oh, should I stand up to do this, I suppose?
Well,
really,
preferably, yes.
Yeah, so I suppose it's what... Now, you've got to try and get a bit more grip on the lower portion. It is that... Yeah, you see, you can't afford to lose that.
Yeah. You've kind of disappeared a bit. I'm going to have a mint while you're doing this. I've only got one. I've got 2 mints, 3 mints left. Evening, Gary.
How was that?
It's very good, yes. What was the name of the song you were playing?
Oh, I don't know. It was just a bit of the... let's say, improvised.
Well, it sounded like Justin Bieber, Peaches, my favourite song at the moment.
Oh.
I get my oranges in Georgia. I'll get my peaches in Georgia. My bitches from California. That one.
Yes, you played it on the radio yesterday.
I love it.
Did you?
I love it. I played that almost every day, that one. I love that song.
Yes. Well, I had a nice interlude on your radio this morning, didn't I?
Yes, you did.
Live from Upminster Station.
You did.
Yeah.
Well, as always, Daniel, an extremely entertaining call. Thank you very much for calling.
Yes, and happy holiday, Chris, and I'll see you in a fortnight.
Thank you very much. I'm doing my radio show on Monday morning, though.
Monday,
yes. Monday morning.
It'll be there.
Cheerio now.
Okay, thanks, Chris. See
Bye,
you then.
Daniel. Thanks for calling. And he's offline. I know. Thank you, Daniel. Very kind. Mike in Brighton says, Try cooking carrots in orange juice. Oh, he said cooling earlier. Try cooking carrots in orange juice. Delicious. That does sound rather nice. His resting heart rate is 72, which means you're not as fit as me. I mean, who is? You saw it with your own eyes. Resting heart rate 60. Anyone else done this? Rachel said, my heart rate is always high due to her Crohn's. Usually ranges from 80s to 120s. Wow. That's high, isn't it? Wow. Rumble Bumble. Good evening, Rumble Bumble. Evening, Chris and gang. Only just joined you this evening, so no idea what's going on. You think we know what's going on here? We haven't got a clue what's going on here. Well done, Lily, for playing the cornet. Cornet. Well done, Lily, for playing the cornet. Except that her nan says she's not allowed to play it. She got told off. For God's sake, don't tell your nan you were playing it for me. She'd be even more mad. In a couple of weeks, you can do that. And I have a guitar for 35 years and I still can't play it. I play the church organ, but I can't play that either. Don't worry about it, Rumble Bumble. Thanks very much, Cher. Shall we move on a little bit? What else have we got on the show tonight? Post office. Oh no, we done the flying turtle, didn't we? Yeah. This woman was driving along. A turtle came flying through her windshield and clobbered her in the head. I don't think anyone threw it. It says the elderly woman's daughter was in such a state of shock that she had to ask a motorist who stopped to help if he could tell her what had crashed through the glass. There's a turtle in there, a man is heard saying in a 911 call on Wednesday morning, according to the Daytona Beach News Journal. A turtle, the doctor replied, an actual turtle. So I don't know where that came from. They were on the Interstate 95. Something came through the windshield and hit my mum on the head. The turtle possibly launched in the air after being hit by another vehicle. Poor thing. Well, what about the turtle? Oh, here we go. As for the turtle, it survived. The turtle only had scratches on its shell, Fleming said, and firefighters set it free in the woods near the scene. Oh, thank God for that. We like a nice little ending to an animal story, don't we? Eh? George says, my nan had a go at me. The coffee machine broke. George's coffee machine has broke. Now, talking to George, he sent in a video of his brand new bed. Do you want to see that? Here it is.
What I've packed down is my new telly. It's not on at the moment. Headphones. There's enough paint what my packed down. There's Angry Birds thing. Everybody on this, when I used to do a live stream, used to say I need a clock, so I did. There's my parts there. There's me. Just about see me. Then there's my new bed. Looks a bit scruffy at the moment because it hasn't been made. But there's my new bed. Then there's my ex-girlfriend. There's some DVDs there. There's some Dad's Army bits and bobs like that. My ex-girlfriend. Painting what my pap done. And there's some painting what I've done with my sister. Take care, guys. Bye for now.
Thank you, George. That's George's new bed there, boys and girls. I did notice a little tissue there at the bottom of the bed there. What's that for, George? Seems to be a tissue at the bottom of your bed. I hope you don't leave those there for your nan to clear up. That's wrong, that is, leaving your nan to clear up the tissues. Anyone else want to call in? 0208 144 3477. Andy, a very good evening to you, who says, evening, Chris, going to be a boring week until you're back, gracing my 50-inch TV. I'm considered getting most haunting in those orbs are still flying around you. Are there orbs here today? The orbs are outside, glowing away. They're watching, they're waiting. Orbs. Thank you, Andy. And Rumble Bumble says, regarding the turtle story, did the turtle survive because the car's highly polished with turtle wax? Very good. Turtle wax. Oh, my very first car, I was constantly polishing it. I don't bother with this one. In fact, it's a bit dirty at the moment. And if you spray it, with a hose, for the period of time which it's still wet, it looks all shiny again. But then it dries and it looks even worse than you'd done in the first place. Oh, I can't be bothered to do that. I used to have this car, was always polishing it. It was a Triumph TC. That was my very first car, that was. Triumph TC. Did you see the story about the post office? I mean, you couldn't make it up, could you? Absolutely disgusting. And I've been watching this story now for a number of years. Basically, what happened is that the post office got this new computer system in, Horizon, like a IT system, all computerized system, but it didn't work properly. And what happened? It kept throwing up discrepancies of sub-post people's accounts. Except it wasn't the sub-post people. It was the equipment. You're getting cut off there a bit, aren't you? You're getting cut off. I'm not sure if it's the computer or the computer program or the internet, actually. I noticed a little red light come on there. I don't know what part of you got cut off there. But I was just saying to you, I don't know if you've been watching this story about the post office. I've been watching it for years now. Basically, they had this IT system called Horizon, which didn't work properly. Except they refused to say, or they didn't know, one of the two, that it wasn't working properly. And it kept throwing up discrepancies between these sub-postmasters and mistresses' accounts. And they took some of them to court, many of which ended up in prison, but they weren't doing anything wrong. And the post office had evidence, which they literally shredded the evidence. Absolutely disgusting state of affairs, and really bad on the post office. All the papers carried this morning. It's been all over the news. The Daily Mail vindicated postmasters shed tears of joy and opened bottles of champagne outside the Royal Courts of Justice today as 39 men and women had their convictions for stealing money from the post office quashed after hundreds were bankrupted, sacked or jailed in one of Britain's biggest miscarriages of justice. I have to say, I was watching this on the telly this morning. At lunchtime, fuming. How dare the post office do this? Now, you see, the trouble with these organisations, and they may well be, they're a private thing now, aren't they? The trouble with these big corporations and industries, they walk around as if they're always right. Bit like the people at the BBC these days. I was always like a very big BBC supporter. I was. For years and years and years. Now, I think they're so far up their own arses, it's unbelievable. I really do. The people that are running it. It's all run by these blooming left-wing liberals who are preaching to us, you must do this, you must do that all the time. I'm sick of it. And the post office is, they decided that all these postmasters were wrong and they believed the IT system. Except the IT system wasn't working properly. It was throwing up all these errors, right? But they put the errors down to the sub-postmasters and mistresses. Some of them went to prison. Dreadful. And the story in the Daily Mail. Hundreds of innocent post office staff, it's disgusting, were blamed for losses in branch accounts caused by flaws in the computer system. And it was used for 16 years, 1999 to 2015. Now, would you not have thought, whoever's seeing all this supposedly dodgy stuff going on, which wasn't going on, don't you think they must have come into their thoughts, hang on a minute, there can't be all these people defrauding us. The number's too high. No. It says, rather than admit the IT system was defective, the post office concealed evidence of the glitches and instead forced its own staff to plead guilty to crimes they knew they had not committed. Lawyers representing the 42 who sought to get their convictions overturned by the Court of Appeal said, "It's absolutely outrageous and disgusting, and shame on the Post Office. Shame on the Post Office for this. The people at the top should go to prison for this. People's lives destroyed, marriages wrecked. Some people died before they were even able to clear their names." And I was watching this afternoon, fuming. How dare an organisation be given that sort of power? Same at the BBC. So full of self-importance. Like the people at the top of the... They are. These people at the top, they are so full of self-importance. All the little people at the bottom. And you've been in a sub post office. I bet most of you have. Generally little family businesses who work blooming hard. Of course, years ago, a lot of the Asian population, they came in, started running post office and you know, they worked blooming hard to do that, only to have the people at the top say, hang on, you're defrauding us, when they weren't. They didn't believe the people. They believed their blooming computer systems. Computer systems go wrong. It's not always the person putting in the information. Someone wrote the program, and there was obviously something wrong with it. One former postmaster, Martin Griffiths, killed himself after he was falsely suspected of stealing £60,000, while some have since died and gone to their graves with convictions against their names. Absolutely outrageous. There was one lady on the telly being interviewed earlier, and she said, "This is about clearing my name." She said, "I've waited 16, whatever it was, 15 years, 10 years, 15, doesn't matter. I've been waiting years for this." She said, "And today my name..." And she burst into tears. She never nicked anything from them. The people at the top should be paying for this. In a statement after the ruling, Post Office chairman issued a grovelling apology. Not good enough, mate. Not good enough. You need to find the people who put these people through that and stick them in prison. There's another bloke here, Harjinder Bhutto, probably one of the Asian. And they did, for some reason, a lot of Asian people got these little post offices and run them very well. But this Harjinder, sub-postmaster in Nottingham, was convicted of theft and jailed for 3 years and 4 months. In 2008, describing the post office as a disgrace. Not just a disgrace, they're despicable. Despicable way you can do this to people. After his conviction was overturned, he said his conviction and imprisonment destroyed his life for 14 years. And not just your 14 years, mate. The whole of your life has been destroyed by these people. And it's not going to be replaced. Those responsible for the scandal need to be punished, and seriously punished. They really do. Bang them up. The Post Office spent £32 million. That's your money. When you buy a stamp, that's your money. They spent £32 million to deny any fault in the Horizon computer system before capitulating. Before capitulating, and has since paid £58 million settlement to £557. You think you just pay people off and it goes away? No. They paid a £58 million settlement to 557 postmasters, which I don't know how much that is. That doesn't sound an awful lot of money to me. 58 million divided by 557. What's that? Following an acrimonious High Court battle, it now faces a further 2,400 claims after a new compensation. You make sure you blooming well give them people a lot of money. How dare you treat them like that? Someone's mucked up big time here, and they need to pay. Take it out of their wages. Why should you take it out of the company? Take it out of their wages. You know, the people at the top. on £10 million a year or whatever they're on. Anyway, that's the post office story. You will see that still on the news at the moment if you put it on. I was fuming seeing that. Fuming. You can probably tell me, can't you? Thank you, Mike. Fran says that it did cut off a minute ago and now you were buffering. It should be all right now from what I can see there. If it's buffering where you are, just refresh the page and it should burst into life. I did notice there we got a little bit of a cut off. I don't think it was the connection, actually. It looks like it's the computer not able to keep up. I'm kind of wondering if I should drop the quality a little bit more, actually. I can't do it. I don't think we can actually do it while I'm here. No, I won't try it while I'm here. That's always bad news, doing it halfway through a show, isn't it? George says I'm now playing in the background because he's doing his Xbox. Jeff. Oh, I've read that, haven't I? Oh no, hang on a minute. I've read that. I think I've read your text there about the either that or there's another or part of your text. I have read your text about the industrial oxygen, haven't I, Jeff? It seems to have come through again for some reason. Sorry, your text has come back at me. All right, Jeff Burley there. Okay, what else have we got on the show? An easy way to work out percentages. Now, I'm not fantastic at maths. I'm all right with money, but not maths. Okay? I was watching a channel on YouTube the other day called Tech Maths. And it gives you easier ways to do stuff. And I just accidentally came across this. So, without getting a calculator out, all right? Without getting a calculator out, let me give you three sums. 48% of 50. Is that easy to do? 48% of 50? How easy is that? No calculator. Don't do it on your computer. Work that out. Write it down. 48% of 50. How did you get on with that one? Have you got an answer for me, anyone? Send it on a text. I've got another one for you. 60% of 75. Any good with that one? 60% of 75. Difficult? How quickly can you do that? Or what about 44% of 150? It is hard, isn't it? I think, given a little bit of time, I might be able to do the 48% of 50. The other two, not a chance. I'll be sitting here. I mean, I might be able to work them out eventually, but it doesn't come to me quick. So, this maths channel, Tech Maths channel, say there's a much easier way to do this. And that is literally to switch the numbers around. So I don't know if you managed to do the 48% of 50 yet. But how about if I said to you, we'll switch the numbers around and you get the same answer. 50% of 48. Now that's easy, isn't it? 50% of 48. Well, it's 24, isn't it? Do that straight away in my head. And that's the secret. You simply switch the numbers around and then you can do it. 60% of 75? No. What about 75% of 60? That's easy, isn't it? It's 40. No, it's not. It's, what is it? 75% of 60. Oh, my mind's gone blank now. I can't do it now. I'm sitting here. I was able to do it the other day. 75% of 60. So it's 3 quarters, isn't it? That's 20. 2040. What is it? 2/3. I can't do it now. I did it the other day, and I can't do it now. But the best one, 44% of 150. That's hard. But 150% of 44, that's really easy. 44 plus another 22, isn't it? 66. Isn't it? 66. So there you go. There's your maths lesson for the day. If you're stuck on percentages, if you get a different one, switch the numbers around because you come out with exactly the same answer. And I thought that was fascinating at the Tech Maths channel. Easy multiplication. Available now on your YouTube channels. All right. Does anyone else want to call in tonight before I close those lines? Line singular 020 8144 3477 is my local London number. Now, do you remember your first bike? Do you remember your first bicycle? Oh, hang on, let's just do that text there. Mike in Brighton says, number multiplied amount divided by 100 converts to a percentage. So, number multiplied amount. Well, what? Number multiplied amount. Number multiplied amount. Eh? Do you want to do that again? Do that again, dear. Number multiplied amount. I don't know what you mean by that. Please, you must check your text before you send, because often there's a word wrong there and I can't work it out. Anyway, let's do this one first. Let's do this. Your first bike. Do you remember your first ever bicycle? I do. And I mention this today because it's someone's birthday. Prince Louis is 3 years old today. He's a happy little child, isn't he? Prince Louis. 3 years old today. It's his third birthday in the Daily Mail. And he's posed for this photo on his first day of nursery school. And he's on a bike. He's got a little red bike for his birthday. Bless his heart. Do you want to see a picture? Yeah. 1 minute. Actually, it's a bit... The picture's a little bit too big to get on there. You'll see the bike. Hang on, let's do this. Little Lewin on his bike, bless his heart. There he is. He looks at... You can tell it's a new bike. It's all shining. Either that or one of the servants has given it a blooming good polish in there. Anyway, there he is. And it says, this morning the photo was shared by the Queen's official Instagram account with a bicycle emoji and the caption, wishing Prince Louis a very happy third birthday today. Do you remember your first bike, I wonder? What colour was it? What was it? Was it a chopper? I never had a chopper. That was actually later on. I was a teenager by then. But my first bike, I think I was probably about 6 or 7 years old, and it was a yellow bike. And we were living in Peckham at the time, which is in South East London, South East 15, Peckham is. And it was all right, this bike, except I remember lending it to someone once, and they didn't come back. And I was in floods of tears. I was in floods, and Dad come down. He said, what's wrong? Oh, so-and-so. I lent him my bike, and he hasn't come back. And Dad went out and bought the bike back. I can't remember what happened now. Old yellow bike. That was my first bike. Do you remember your first bike? What was it? I've always had a bike. Always. I used to go to work on my bike when I was working for British Telecom. By then I had a racer, with the drop handlebars. And I used to cycle over Wimbledon Common to get to work when I was a director inquiry operator. That was in Wimbledon, in Warple Road, which is opposite a department store called Ely's. It was a nice cycle, actually. I used to go right across Wimbledon Common. All weathers. I wasn't like just a summer cyclist or anything like that. If it was really wet, then I knew I had to go on the road because it was just too muddy. But I remember once going over there and it had been snowing. I don't know how I managed to cycle in this snow, but I did. I was never late for work, never. And sometimes on the way home, now that I think about it, the main road that I used to go down would have been Parkway or something like that. It was the main road. It come from Wimbledon. It used to go up Wimbledon Hill, then through Wimbledon Village, which is like a really posh pussy place. And I think it was Parkway or Park Nest, maybe? No. What's Park? Oh, no, that's one of the people who watch. Park. I can't remember the name of it. It was Park something. And the common was on one side, and this main road was quite a fast road, actually. But if it had been raining, not the most pleasant road when it was raining and quite dark at night. Because sometimes I'd finish at 6 o'clock at night. You know, in the middle of winter, I had my stuff on me, waterproofs on, and all that business. But yeah, blue. It was a blue racer. This bike. Yeah, it's all right. Always had a bike. Even at the moment here, I've got two bikes actually. Not here. Up here, I've got this £30 bike, which you saw in the pictures earlier, which is perfectly all right. I might even try and cycle to my sister's tomorrow because I'm not doing much tomorrow. I might, when I get up and I've had my breakfast, I might cycle down to my sister's after I've done a little bit of hoovering or something around here. Get ready for my journey on a Monday. Mablethorpe from here isn't far at all, incidentally, but it's not even an hour. Not even an hour. It's about 45 minutes from here. Nice, easy journey. Won't be cycling there, mind, but I might cycle to my sister's tomorrow. And even when I'm at home, if I'm going for shopping generally, unless it's a big shop, I'll get the bike out or walk. Always had a bike. A lot of people getting those electric bikes now, which are all right, you know, but you don't get the exercise, do you? You know, I did think about an electric bike, and you think, well, what's the point of that? Other people say, you know, if you've got an electric bike, sometimes you do get a hill, and it's hard going, and that can certainly set my knee off. And some people say, well, it's quite handy, you know, if you need a little boost when you're going up a hill. But I get a feeling you'd get lazy. And it's so easy to flick that switch on the bike and go into electric mode. Have any of you got an electric bike? They're very good. Very good. Andy remembers his first bike. It was a rally. Yeah, my racer was a rally. It was a rally what is it? A grifter, a red one. They still sell them on eBay sometimes. Let me have a look. Rally grifter. Hang on, let me have a look. There it is. Oh, it's a bit like a BMX, isn't it? It's a little bit like a BMX, that sort of similar shape. Or is that... Oh, no, that might be a BMX. Is a chopper a grifter? Hang on a minute, how's that? £16.95? Oh, it's a model. I thought it was £16.95. It's a model. There it is, a rally grifter. There you go. I'll show people. Let me show people. There's a Mark 1. It says it's a vintage BMX bike. So here we go. Rally grifter. That's what Andy had. It's a nice looking bike actually, isn't it? Eh? There you go. Look at that. It does look a bit like a chopper, doesn't it? The chopper, of course, they were those bikes with the gear in the middle. Gear stick in the middle, weren't they? Very good indeed. Thank you, Andy. And thank you, my sister's watching. Parkside, that was the place. Parkside. Parkside was the road that runs along Wimbledon Common. It was a fast road, I have to say. Bit dangerous being anywhere. I mean, much worse now than it was back in the 80s when I was on the bike going there. And then when I changed, I became a telephone engineer. Then I kind of went the other way. I had a flat by then in Wandsworth, and I used to cycle from Wandsworth along past the Arndale Centre to the telephone exchange then. And then they moved me to Mortlake. And I used to cycle from my flat in Wandsworth all the way to Mortlake. It's actually not that far. There's a hill that goes up Wandsworth. Just try to cut West Hill. That is. I think it's West Hill. I didn't go up. No, that's West Hill. That one there, Upper Richmond Road. Oh, I used to cycle up Upper Richmond Road all the way to work. Actually, not as far as that. 35 minutes, I suppose, if that on a bicycle. Except when it rained. By then, I had a car. You know, and if it rained, I just used to take the car out. Mike says an example of what is 30% of 60. To calculate, it's 30 multiplied by 60 divided by 100. Yeah, but what if you can't do multiplication? I can't do that either. Maths O level. No, I got E. E for maths O level. E. Yeah, I know. He says it's 30 multiplied by 60 divided by 100. Answer 18. Oh, dear me. Ollie says, I just have a standard diet. What's a diet jumper? That does me fine. What's that? A standard diet jumper? Tell me what that means. A standard diet jumper. I don't know what that means. Standard diet jumper. What is that? Hello to Stephen from Dorset. Hello, Stephen. I remember my first bike. I can't read that out. My first bike was called Sharon and everyone loved to ride it. I hope that's not a person you're talking about there. Thank you, Stephen. Stephen in Dorset there. I think that you're the first time you've sent us a message there, so welcome along, Stephen. Yeah, just a reminder, gang, if you're in a chat box and you're trying to talk to me, I don't get those messages, okay? I'm not in the chat box. You have to send us a text there, please, or an email, all right? The email address is chris@unitedkingdomtalk.co.uk. We'll close the phone line now as well, all right, my loves? We're going to close the phone line now, thanks to the couple of people that called in to the show this evening. So that's bikes. How are we doing? Oh, it's gone 10 to 10 already, is it? Thank you very much. I've showed you George's new bed. Bad career moves. Let's do that one. Bad career moves. Have you ever made a bad career move? Have I? Yeah, only one. I think one. I've taken on jobs and then not liked where I was, DJ-wise. There's been a couple of those, but I didn't leave a job to take a new one on, if you see what I mean. They were empty nights anyway. So it was a case of try it, no, I don't like that one, so I'll leave. If I don't like a job, I go. That's it. End of. Can't do the job I'm doing if you don't really like where you are. You can't. Can't do DJing. Not so much DJing now, but karaoke. If you don't like where you are, no, there's no point in staying there. You can't just do it for the money. It's obvious. I did do that for years at one place in Clapham. I really didn't like it there. I just didn't feel I fitted in. Two Brewers it was called in Clapham. I ended up being there 18 years. And there were moments in there that I quite enjoyed what I was doing. But I would say 85% of the time I did not enjoy that job at all. But I was there for the money, that one. But it does become obvious. It really does. I've had some wonderful DJ and karaoke jobs over the years. My favourites is a very close contest between the Black Cap in Camden and Belushi's in London Bridge. Two very, very different jobs. They were probably my most favourite DJing and karaoke jobs over the years. The Black Cap in Camden in the 90s and Belushi's in the 2000s in London Bridge. Fantastic jobs, really. But Gary Barlow says he has his worst career move. He did Heartbeat for a while. He did a little part in Heartbeat. And he earned 78 pence from that. I mean, like I say, at least I did get good money in Clapham at that place. I just did not fit in there at all. I really never liked it. It got to one point, literally, you know, especially Sunday nights, I'd get there for 8 till 2. I think it was 8 till 2. Or was it 10 till 2? Or 9 till 2. Can't remember anyway. 8 o'clock. So 8 till 2 I was there. By 10 past 8 I was climbing up the walls. I hated it. I was so bored. I don't know why. Maybe I just found it too easy in the end. Funny really. You know, I'm the bloke playing the records, talking on the mic, doing all the sound and lights for all the artists. Now you would think that would be interesting. Perhaps I was just so used to it. And dare I say, no, that's blowing my own trumpet, that is. Never had a complaint, really. People would come up and say how good that I was. No, you know, I'm blowing my own. I'm just telling you how it is. But I was bored bored to tears. And there were a few people I let in, I'm really fed up doing this. And they would say to me, don't give it up, Chris, you'll never get another job like this. It was quite a highly sought after job. I was so bored doing it. It was unbelievable. Really. But I don't really leave a job unless I'm, well, like I say, I just stuck at that one for the good money. It was good money. He paid a good wage. And then what happened after about 18 years, they decided that by this point I was only doing Thursday nights. And he said, look, we want to open until 3. And I was already going till 2. And I was finding that a struggle because all my other nights had moved back a bit to sort of 12 o'clock. And then one night a week I was doing till 2. Well, they decided they wanted to open till 3 and that did it for me. And I was oh, no, I don't want it anymore. I'm going to go. Thank you very much for the job over the years. And they're like, are you sure? Yeah, thank you. I think I was just looking for an excuse, really. I was waiting for something to happen, and that did. So I came out of it. Gary Barlow will be happy his music career took off more than his acting after admitting to making 78 pence in royalties this year from a cameo on cop drama Heartbeat's 150th episode, 78 pence. Does he actually take the money? It's safe to say Gary Barlow has had a fairly good career. Now, Gary Barlow, he comes across as someone that you'd like to meet, doesn't he? Perhaps someone that you'd like to talk to, have a bit of a conversation with. I think he's really good at what he does, but I also think he's a nice person. He does come across as a nice person. All those Take That boys do, don't they? Like Robbie, and all those. He admits not every move was a good one and confessed to making 78 pence in royalties this year after his brief stint in ITV drama Heartbeat. The Take That star made a guest appearance on the police drama in 2000 as a hitchhiker who runs into difficulties. And cringing in remembrance, the 50-year-old said, oh, effing hell, I swear that thing will not leave me. It's funny. When it gets repeated on something like gold, I get a cheque. And this year I got one for 78 pence. So it wasn't even a financial decision. It was just one of the worst things I've ever done. It really was. His cameo was part of Heartbeat celebrating its 150th episode and came before boy band Take That made a sensational comeback. So good luck. It's just how it is, though. I don't know. I mean, I don't know, Gary. People probably were really pleased to see you on there, to be honest, to see a face like that on there. Do you have a bad decision ever in work? Vera writes, my best friend and work colleague a few years ago applied for a job to work for the Sky Company, and I was hoping that she would get it. A week later, I got a phone call from Sky, not asking, but telling me to apply for the job. I was on the phone to them for a good 10 minutes. They said they wanted me to work for them. I was shocked and confused because I didn't apply for the job. I was thinking about my friend and turned it down. It was a lot more money than I was earning at the BBC. I told my friend what happened and she flew into a rage. Working in the same office was hell. She didn't speak to me for 2 weeks. She'd said that she didn't trust me, etc. I turned down a brilliant job for a friend, but she didn't see it that way. Oh, by the way, she didn't get the job. That's why she hated you. But, I mean, you turned it down for her. Maybe it was best to say nothing. I don't know. Sometimes it is. It's like these people on Twitter and Facebook, I mean, it really is. Sometimes it's better to just say nothing, I think. She said, I wish I'd called them back and taken the job now. Things did get a little better between us over the years, but our friendship was never the same. What would you have done? I would probably have turned down the job and not said anything. In fact, I've done that before. I've been offered someone else's job before. A couple of times, actually. And I've turned it down and not told the other person. And I wouldn't use it either. If we were to have a row or something like that, I wouldn't say to them, "Ah, yes, but I turned down the job for you." I just wouldn't tell them. I think sometimes it is maybe better to say nothing, really, Vera. Thanks for sending that in. She just sends an email in there. Let's have a look. Oh, Ollie was talking about bikes there. I have a standard dirt jumper. I know the thing. That does me fine. Do you actually like go over hills, and can you do all that business where you like jump up and maybe twist around? You must be very careful with that, Ollie. Don't hurt yourself on there. Rachel says she loved the go-karts made with pram wheels, wood, and a bit of rope for steering. I had a book that showed you how to make those. Was it a Ladybird book? I can't remember now. I definitely had a book that kind of showed you how to make stuff like that, but I never did. I was never really that good at DIY. Mike in Brighton says your best job moves was definitely the black cap. That's where we met. Thank heavens, yes. And so many years ago, it was either, I'm never getting it right. I think it was 1980. Is either 1987 or 1989. One of those two. And Chris was the manager. Lovely man, Chris Holliday. He was a lovely chap. He was. Remember that first night in there, you know, that the smell, the black had a very distinct smell, didn't it? Not an unpleasant smell, just a smell, like so many places do. You know, if you took me to my primary school now with a blindfold on and says, "Guess where you are," I would be able to say primary school. That had a distinct smell. My primary school, funny, isn't it? Black Cap did. That very first night going in, suitcases of records. It was a Thursday night. I never forget. Was a Thursday night I started there. And David Rosen was there. I'd never met David before. Never even been in a black cap. Never heard of it. All I saw was the advert come up in the newspaper. And I went for it and got an audition. There I am playing the records. I didn't really know much about it. Just chatting and playing my records. And in the crowd were two girls called Charlotte and Joy. You'll know them. Two lovely girls. And I told them how nervous I was, and they were there. You'll be all right. They really made me feel welcome, these two girls. Charlotte and Joy. Charlotte, of course, went on years later to become a DJ in her own right. And Joy now runs a pub in Sydenham, or she did a couple of years ago. She runs a pub in Sydenham. I keep meaning to go down there and see her. And I stood on this shade, and David Rosen, "Hello, I'm David." "Hello, David." He said, "You'll be all right with the show later, won't you?" And I'm like, "What show?" "Oh, you got cabaret later." Well, I'd never put cabaret on stage, ever. "Oh, have I?" I didn't have a clue what to do. He said, "Yeah, it's a dreller." I said, "A dreller? The one that goes to the Two Brewers?" He said, "That's right." I said, "Well, I haven't got a clue. What do I do?" "Oh, you'll be fine. She'll give you a load of tapes. Just put them on in the order she asked you to put them on." "Okay. You'll have to wipe the microphone as well." "Oh, well, show me what to do." Anyway, so it came to showtime and I introduced her. I'd never done this before. Never. I'd seen it done in the Two Brewers. And I brought her on, and it all worked all right. It worked. I did it. And I think I made too much of a thing of bringing her back on and off at the end, you know. People, "Do you want to say, bring her back on?" Yeah, and all this. It worked. And then I did the Friday, and I can't remember who the artist was on the Friday, but of course it finished, I think, at 11 o'clock on the Thursday and 11:30 on the Friday. £35 a session. Oh, it was great. And then it was a long time before we found out if we got the job or not, because I think there were other people who went for the job. I don't know who else went for the job. I don't know what other DJs, but they were known. I don't think I was that well known at that time. All I was doing was a little place in Putney called The Bridge, DJ in there, you see. It was called Kitty's Bar at the time. And that's where I came from. I knew Dolly DJ at the Royal Oak, and she gave me great encouragement. And but then, so that was the audition, and then weeks went by, before I found out, and eventually I rung up and said, can you let us know if I got the job, because I might leave my British Telecom job to do this. You couldn't do both. Was it 1989? 1989. He says, Mike says, as for the smell, I apologise deeply. I was eating out of Tate tins of baked beans all night. And then very quickly it became the most important thing in my life, working at that particular pub. It really did. And there's so many memories. My mother died while I was DJing there one night. Yeah, I got the phone call, and I've told you this story before. I got the phone call anyway. I said to the artist at the time, it was Lizzie Drip. I think it was something like 11:15 or 11:30. I said, can you go on? How long will you be? She said, I'll be about half hour. I said, any chance you can go on any quicker? She's like, why? I said, my mum's dying. I've got to go. She said, well, just go. I said, I can't go. Why not? Because I haven't put you on yet. She said, look, just go. It doesn't matter about me. I said, no, I can't leave. Okay, give me 2 minutes. On she went. As soon as she was finished, I had a tape ready, hit the play button, off I went. And by the time I got to the hospital, sadly, my mum was gone. She wasn't cold. She hadn't gone long. But lots of memories, people I've met there and worked with, famous people. Yeah, great memories in that place, really. So that was a good career move for me, wasn't it, eh? Doing that one. Ollie K says, I've been wanting to start go-karting in championships. His dad said that we will go to the Inside Karting Centre, and if I beat him, we will talk about it. So I'm going to be studying the track for ages now, so I beat him. You make sure you do, Ollie. Honestly, some of these dads, they think they're still like 20 years old. You make sure you beat him for me. Good luck to you, Ollie, all right? We'll do one more story and then we'll disappear, I think, today. Mushrooms. It's another sort of live a long time. Do you like mushrooms? Great nephew George, he's 8. He doesn't like mushrooms. He doesn't like the texture, apparently. It's another story in the Daily Mail. A new study adds to the growing body of evidence that adding more mushrooms to our meals can cut the risk of getting cancer quite substantially as well, according to this story. American experts performed an analysis of 17 cancer studies to determine a link between mushroom consumption and the disease. And they reckon a team found that eating just 18 grams of mushrooms reduced the risk of getting cancer by 45%. 18 grams equates to around 1/8 of 1/4 of a cupful, they say, or one medium button mushroom. Just one. One of those a day. Several studies have previously linked mushroom intake with slashing cancer risk, including prostate and cervical cancer. So the boys and the girls there. Overall, these findings provide important evidence for protective effects of mushrooms against cancer. Do you like mushrooms? Have you ever grown them? They must be quite easy to grow, are they? But the only thing is, once they're picked, you've got to eat them sort of within a couple of days. They go all mushy, don't they? There's so many different ways to do them. It's another thing that I put in my campfire stew, and also my spaghetti arrabbiata. I do tend to, I cheat a bit. I buy frozen mushrooms, so easy. Again, from Aldi, I think the frozen or a little one of the two. I think the frozen mushrooms are something silly like £1 a packet. Great big bag. Cut the top off, pour them in. Done in it. It's done. Although, it's not exactly difficult to chop up mushrooms. Chop a mushroom like that. Yeah. I quite like mushrooms, but George doesn't like them. My great-nephew George is in Cyprus at the moment. Future studies are needed to better pinpoint the mechanisms involved and specific cancers that may be impacted. So they reckon mushrooms are very good on you. Those shiitake mushroom extract kills virus and slows tumour growth, it says here as well. Chemicals from shiitake mushrooms could kill the virus that causes cervical cancer. A 2014 study revealed almost all cases of cervical cancer are caused by HPV, but the American research found that the extract found in these mushrooms may play a role in preventing it. So perhaps that's another one of those like wonder foods. You know, I think they call blueberries wonder foods, don't they? Because they've got a lot of something in them, and broccoli as well. That's supposed to be against cancer, isn't it? That one as well there. There's our Vera. She hates mushrooms too. Does anyone eat raw mushrooms? And sometimes you go on some of these people's picnics and that, and they got like raw carrots. Or like Mike was saying earlier, raw celery or raw mushrooms. I've been to like places like where they're doing like a buffet and they've got a beautiful display, but it's all raw. Oh no, dear. What about nice fried mushrooms with your breakfast? Eh? Fried mushrooms, some beans, tomato. Nice. Is that for you? Come on, Vera. A little bit of butter in that pan for you, my love. Do you know what else I like? Onions. Fried onions. Oh, lovely. George doesn't like mushrooms either. Mushrooms. He doesn't like mushrooms either, do you, love? And Mike in Brighton. Mushrooms. What's he say here? Mushrooms cooked in butter. All those extra calories, though, Mike, dear. Not that you have to worry, dear. It's always been as thin as a blooming rake, Mike. You know what? I've just opened something, and that's not going to be there. Hang on, let me just turn something on there. Otherwise, I won't get my music coming out of that. Mushrooms cooked in butter with garlic. Yummy. Rachel says she can eat a load of mushrooms. Daughters don't like the texture of them either. They say it's like eating a slug. Oh, no, dear. If you want to see what it's like to eat a slug, have an oyster. Oh. Have you seen the way they... Oh, no. What does that... It must be... You can feel this thing sliding down your throat. Slimy thing. Not for me. Vera says you can keep them. George, I meant to say I do like mushroom. Oh, I've got mushroom soup. Now you've tempted me. Now I think I might have a tin of mushroom soup before I go to bed tonight. Now, that's your fault. I'll have to have a. That's what I'll have. I think I'll have that now. Something to eat. That's quite light, isn't it? I'll have a tin of mushroom soup before I go to bed tonight. Yeah. Liking the sound of that, really. Right. Time for me to go, boys and girls. Thanks ever so much for joining us. Don't forget, our next chat show is not next week. It's the week after. So our next chat show will be on Monday, the 3rd of May at 8 p.m. Monday, the 3rd of May at 8 p.m. I've got one more show to do before I go on holiday, but that's the radio show. That's my Reach On Air show, which will be Monday morning at 9 o'clock, okay? Monday morning at 9 o'clock is my Reach On Air show. Now, what you're doing tonight, because my mate Alan Ross will be on. Alan Ross on the radio tonight, midnight till 3 o'clock, reachonair.com. Now, I've told you about the whole Amazon thing. You know, if you want to listen on Amazon, you do have to go in on the Amazon app and enable the skill on there, okay? What you don't know, perhaps, is that Siri will just play it. So if you just say, hey Siri, play Reach On Air, she will just play it.
I didn't find that on Apple Music.
Well, it does work, honestly. Just say, hey Siri, play Reach On Air, clearly, and she'll play it for you there, all right? Finally, Fran says, my ex-sister-in-law loved raw mushrooms. I like them if they are sliced or chopped. I think it's the texture. Yeah, no raw mushrooms for me. Hope you've enjoyed tonight's show. I'll see you again Monday morning, 9 o'clock for the Reach On Air show. Have a lovely weekend. Take care now. Bye-bye.